after 60. Smart women attract men by refusing these 5 things, even how much you want him. Older men don't fall for women who give everything. They fall for the woman who knows when to say no. Many women believe saying yes keeps love alive. They think accommodation equals attraction. But the women who attract high-quality men aren't the ones who chase, beg, or bend themselves into pretzels. They're the ones who understand that every graceful refusal builds something stronger than any desperate yes ever could. Hi, it's Vernon again. In today's video, I'll share 5 things that emotionally intelligent women refuse and why those refusals make men lean in, not walk away. This is especially vital for women after 60, when you've lived enough to know the difference between settling and selecting, between attention and genuine connection. Smart women attract men not by doing more, but by protecting more. Before we dive in, do me a favor, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. If you're here for honest love advice, dating tips, and relationship wisdom for women after 60, you're in the right place. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed that the moment you stopped chasing something, it suddenly came closer? That's not coincidence. That's the first refusal we need to talk about. 1. She refuses to chase. Smart women know something that shifts everything. Chasing makes a man passive, and passive men lose desire. When you chase, whether it's through constant texting, initiating every conversation, or always being the one to suggest plans, you reverse the natural polarity of attraction. You become the pursuer, and he becomes the prize. And men, especially mature, confident men, are wired to value what they pursue, not what pursues them. A woman with emotional strength moves with calm detachment. She's warm, she's open, but she's not desperate. Her energy whispers, "I'm here, I'm interested, but I'm not begging." And that stillness, that quiet self-respect, it draws men in more powerfully than any flirtation, any performance, any chase ever could. When you chase, you're essentially saying, "I need you more than you need me." But when you step back and allow space, you communicate something far more attractive. "I have a full life, and you're welcome to be part of it if you choose to step up." This is what confident women understand. This is the dating advice for women that actually works. Attraction thrives in the space between desire and fulfillment. When you refuse to chase, you create that space. You allow him to feel the pull, to wonder about you, to lean forward. I've watched women transform their dating lives after 60, simply by learning this one truth. They stopped sending the follow-up text. They stopped planning every date. They stopped filling every silence. And suddenly, the men who were lukewarm became intensely interested. Because here's the psychology of attraction. Men respect what they work for. When you make yourself too available, too eager, too easy to pin down, you remove the very tension that creates desire. As the great Lao Tzu once said, "Nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished." Have you ever found that the moment you stopped chasing someone, they started chasing you? Drop a comment and share your experience. I'd love to hear your story. But refusing to chase doesn't mean she's cold or uninterested. It means she understands what kind of attention is worth her time and what kind of man is worth her energy. 2. She refuses to explain her worth. Here's something I learned the hard way. The moment you start explaining why you deserve respect, you've already lost it. Smart women don't beg to be understood. They don't write paragraphs justifying their feelings. They don't perform or prove or persuade. Their silence speaks confidence. Their calm sets the tone. And men sense peace in that not performance. A man respects what he cannot easily define. When a woman is secure enough in herself that she doesn't need to convince him of her value, something shifts. He begins to study her. He begins to wonder. He begins to recognize that she operates from a different standard. A standard of self-worth that doesn't require his validation. I remember a conversation I had last year with my friend Eleanor. She's 64, intelligent, graceful. She told me about a man she'd been seeing who constantly questioned her boundaries. Why didn't she answer his late-night calls? Why didn't she rearrange her plans when he canceled last minute? Old Eleanor would have explained. She would have justified, defended, rationalized. But this version of Eleanor? She simply said, "This is how I move through the world. You're welcome to join me, or not." He stayed. And more than that, he stepped up. A woman in harmony with herself is like music to the world, as the poet Maya Angelou might say. That's the power of refusal. When you refuse to explain your worth, you force others to either recognize it or exit. And the men who stay, those are the ones who value emotional intelligence, who respect female empowerment, who understand that attraction isn't about control, it's about connection. This is relationship advice for women that transcends age. Your worth is not up for debate. The moment you stop defending it is the moment you start commanding respect. And when she refuses to explain herself, something even deeper happens. She begins to attract the kind of man who values emotional truth over flattery, depth over drama. 3. She refuses drama and emotional chaos. A smart woman guards her nervous system like a temple. She's lived long enough to know that drama doesn't create passion, it creates exhaustion. She doesn't argue to win. She doesn't engage in toxic back and forths. She observes, assesses, and when peace is threatened, she withdraws. That emotional steadiness, that becomes magnetic. Here's what most dating tips won't tell you. Men crave calm energy more than constant excitement. They crave it because calm feels like home. After 60, after decades of chaos in careers, families, relationships, a peaceful woman is like oxygen. She's sanctuary, she's rest. When you refuse drama, you're not being cold or avoidant. You're being wise. You're protecting your emotional strength. You're saying, I value my inner peace more than I value being right. And men notice. High-quality men especially notice, because they've been around enough drama to know its cost. Peace is not the absence of conflict, but the ability to cope with it. As Dorothy Thompson wisely said, I see this in mature relationships all the time. A woman gets triggered by something small. Maybe he forgets to call. Maybe he makes an offhand comment. The old version of her might have spiraled into accusations, defensiveness, emotional chaos. But a woman who refuses drama? She pauses. She breathes. She responds from centeredness, not reaction. And that's what men respect in women. Not perfection, not agreeableness, but emotional regulation, self-mastery, the ability to stay grounded when everything around her is shaking. This is how to attract men without games, without manipulation, without losing yourself. You attract them by being the most peaceful, centered version of yourself. If this resonates with you, do me a favor. Share this video with your friends, your groups, anyone who needs to hear this message about the value of peace and self-respect. Let's spread this wisdom together. But her power doesn't end with silence or calm. It extends to something even more sacred, something that separates women who are loved from women who are merely desired. 4. She refuses to share her body without emotional safety. Let's talk about something tender but essential: intimacy. A smart woman knows that physical intimacy without emotional intimacy drains both souls. She's not prudish. She's not withholding out of punishment or manipulation. She's simply wise enough to understand that her body is sacred, and sacred things require reverence. Her refusal isn't rejection, it's wisdom. It's an invitation for a man to earn access, not just to her body, but to her trust, her vulnerability, her heart. When a woman withholds physical intimacy until there's genuine emotional connection, something powerful happens. She commands devotion instead of attention. She becomes unforgettable instead of replaceable. She shifts from being an option to being the priority. This is especially important for women after 60. You've been through enough to know that chemistry fades, but connection endures. You've learned that giving your body to someone who hasn't earned your trust leaves you feeling empty, used, diminished. I think of my brother Thomas. He's 67, divorced twice, dated countless women. A few years ago, he met someone who changed everything. She was 61, radiant, self-possessed. After 3 dates, he expected things to progress physically. She smiled and said, "I don't share my body with men I don't trust." And trust takes time. Thomas was stunned. But instead of walking away, he leaned in. He courted her. He showed up consistently. He proved himself. And when she finally said yes, it wasn't just physical. It was sacred. He told me later, "I've never felt more chosen in my life." That's the power of this refusal. When you protect your physical intimacy until emotional safety is established, you communicate that you are not available for casual consumption. You are a woman of depth, of substance, of worth. The body is the temple of the soul, and when we honor it, we honor ourselves, as an ancient proverb reminds us. And once she's mastered patience, once she's learned to protect her body and her peace, there's one final refusal that transforms how every man sees her. One boundary that changes everything. 5. She refuses to abandon herself. The ultimate act of attraction is self-loyalty. A smart woman doesn't dim her opinions to make a man comfortable. She doesn't silence her needs to avoid conflict. She doesn't shrink, minimize, or contort herself to fit into someone else's expectation. Her love begins with self-respect and radiates outward. When a woman stands firm in who she is, men don't just admire her, they orbit her, because self-abandonment is the death of attraction. The moment you betray yourself to keep someone else, you lose the very essence of what made you magnetic in the first place. This is the hardest refusal, especially for women who've spent decades accommodating others, children, husbands, employers, society. But after 60, you've earned the right to be unapologetically yourself. You've earned the right to say, "This is who I am. Take it or leave it." And the men worth having, they take it, gratefully. I've seen this pattern repeat itself countless times. A woman meets someone promising, and slowly, subtly, she begins to edit herself. She stops mentioning her political views because they differ from his. She cancels her weekly art class to be more available. She laughs a little softer, speaks a little quieter, takes up a little less space, and then one day, she looks in the mirror and doesn't recognize the woman staring back. That's when the attraction dies, not because he lost interest, but because there's nothing authentic left to be interested in. She became a reflection of his preferences instead of a woman with her own gravity. The women who stay magnetic at any age, they're the ones who keep their Tuesday book club sacred. They're the ones who say, "I love you, but I'm still taking that solo trip to the coast." They're the ones who understand that independence isn't a threat to intimacy. It's the foundation of it. This is women empowerment, motivation at its core. You are not half of a whole. You are already whole. And when you refuse to abandon yourself, you give a man the gift of loving the real you, not some diminished, accommodating version that you think he wants. Because here's the secret: men don't fall in love with perfect accommodators. They fall in love with women who have their own light, their own fire, their own unshakable sense of self. And that, my friends, is how attraction transforms into something lasting, something real, something sacred. You can save this video as a reminder that staying true to yourself is the most powerful form of love there is. If you've made it this far, you now understand the 5 refusals that separate women who are endlessly chased from women who are endlessly chasing. These aren't walls. They're mirrors of emotional maturity. They're reflections of a woman who knows her worth, protects her peace, and refuses to settle for anything less than genuine connection. Smart women attract effortlessly, not because they do more, but because they protect more. Every refusal is a love letter to herself, and every man who values peace, depth, and emotional truth, he reads that letter clearly. A woman who refuses to lose herself will never lack for a man who wants to find her. Rumi said it best: so stand firm in your boundaries, trust your wisdom. Know that your refusal to chase, to explain, to engage in drama, to give your body carelessly, or to abandon yourself, these aren't signs of coldness. They're signs of a woman who has arrived at her full power. Do you think women lose love by setting boundaries, or finally attract the kind of love they deserve? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story and perspective. Don't forget to like it and subscribe to this channel for more wisdom about love, boundaries, and feminine strength after 60. Check out the channel for more videos on relationship advice, how to attract men with confidence, and dating tips that actually work. And I'm Vernon. Thanks for watching my video till now, and see you in the next video.